I'm saying?
Right.
And it has nothing to do with science. You see what I'm saying?
Can I ask you a point?
Yeah.
So, at this point, once you discovered that this was the direction that you needed to go, I mean, what then made you say, okay, well, let me go out here and do it? And were you actually doubtful about how this type of thing would be received, because it wasn't, starting to get dark? I don't think you imagined that it would be.
Well, first of all, I never really looked at it as something that I needed to give to the people, and was interested in what they was receiving. This is, first of all, imperative for my own personal will to know, my need to know, my desire to know. You see what I'm saying? And I never went about this thing as what type of discipline that I'm going to dabble into that's going to be the correct thing to teach the people. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
It has nothing to do, or it had anything to do with some type of performance, some type of acceptance. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
It was the need to know, and it was going along the path and not hindering myself on the path of enlightenment, and being honest enough to turn over all stones and not be content with the first thing that I felt that was comfortable enough to call it the ultimate knowledge. And one of the motivating factors was, if I woke up the next morning and I was still here and my condition was the same, I would always have work to do until I would receive the proper results or the proper understanding, you see what I'm saying, of what was needed to be done. You get it?
Yeah.
So the criteria was not anything outside of my own personal search. And to the public, I would have to just report my research and my findings. You see what I'm saying?
I see.
One thing about it that I was sure from the beginning, that I didn't come to speak to the complete audience. Only those, you see what I'm saying, who was looking for answers also.
The elite.
Right. A circle within a circle within a circle.
Elect of the elect.
Yes. You see. So, number one, some of it is just basic warfare. If your enemy tells you not to go into something and to be careful of something,
You probably should go into it.
and to stay away from something, not only should you probably go into it, you should run to it. He is your enemy.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, right. I get you.
Then, now, doing the historical aspect, and just being in America from an ancient perspective and a modern perspective, you would have to be an idiot not to know who the damn idiot the enemy was. Make no bones about it. The enemy in the modern world And every human on this planet should know who the enemy is. And that's white folks. Even if you are white, you should know that you shouldn't be comfortable with your own race. Well, other people do diabolical things too, but no, let's make it be, let's let this be perfectly clear. The people that run this earth are not the Arabs, not the Asians, definitely not the Africans. It is the Europeans. You understand what I'm saying? That is a fact.
Right.
And anybody else that think otherwise is in a grave illusion. You see what I'm saying? You know, it's in an illusion. You know. And the more and more the enemy insists that you turn away from something, the more and more you need to look into that. And then the magic really starts, the mystery really starts. Because not only are you going to find out that this man is the enemy, you're going to find out that he is the little enemy. He is not the ultimate conspirator. He is only a pawn in the game of some forces that's much greater than him. And those forces themselves would be the very same gods that we was taught and would learn to trust in with all our lives.
Well, if you seem to have this split between, people are always trying to talk about, you have your white magic and your black magic, that type of thing, and you went toward that a little bit earlier. But what I mean is, so why does it have to be dark? You know what I mean? I mean, in this world, in this time, why, if you're going to be practicing your magic, why does it have to be dark? Or why is there a need for it to be dark? Why do we need to understand that?
What we're dealing with here is people categorizing things. And then the categorization becoming even more distorted. You see what I'm saying? People labeling things. And then that itself, after time goes on, would get to be misunderstood. You see. So, what used to be bleach, water, you see what I'm saying? Fire, air, you see. Paper, steel, polarities, and different degrees of science would later on become psychological things like wicked and that type of evil. Categorize that. So we're talking about something that is highly scientific and really has nothing to do with moralism and anything personal, but just understanding the nature of the way the earth works. Nature itself is a series of changes. Some of these changes very violent. See what I'm saying? And the misunderstanding when you categorize things and later on people would misunderstand things is the same scenario I'm getting ready to give you. If someone or some woman giving birth to a child,
Right.
violent birth to a child, muscles is ripping, blood is spewing, she's hollering, pain is all around you. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
Which is a necessary and a common function in just nature itself. And someone coming in and taking the experience of childbirth, mythologizing it into something negative and evil. See what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. I do.
It's no different than the standard human, which is the stock human, the standard human, the prototype human, which was black people around the earth. Later on, our own physical features would be recategorized as ugly. No difference. We can look at a pattern of our history and see that our own very lives as a people that are the teachers of humanity looked upon as not even being human, looked upon as not even being competent. You see what I'm saying? Looked upon as not even being adequate. Get where I'm coming from here?
Mm-hmm.
So it's the same particular concept when it comes to this wide body of knowledge. Someone coming in, you see what I'm saying? And seeing pimples break out of a teenager's face based on hormones that's going through puberty. And they're looking and saying, that is evil and wicked whenever you see those pimples.
Mm-hmm.
And that acne on teenagers' face. And we know we have a whole group of people, because we're just talking about basically ignorance. The ancient Egyptians and ancient Canaanites said that evil is ignorant.
Yep. Yep.
Ignorance is evil. And we know we have history of Europeans that's being ignorant of things and judging people because of it. They hung, maligned, killed, plundered all over the world things that they didn't understand.
Mm-hmm.
They labeled as evil, abnormal,
Right.
unusual, all because of ignorance. You know what I'm saying? All because of
Right.
ignorance.
Right.
You see. So it's easy if we can see aspect after aspect and example of our regular lives, how things can be misunderstood over a course of time and ignorance. That when it comes to magic or a greater level of science, you see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That not only would be misconstrued based on ignorance, but also a conspiracy to hide the truth and to keep the higher knowledge away from the masses and from certain groups that lost it. And those groups are now, which is us black people, unpopular with the society, you see what I'm saying, that holds those groups captive.
Mm.
And as subjects.
Right.
You get it?
Right.
Got that.
Got that.
So, as a result, the first thing we got to start with was in the aspect of removing the ultimate fear. If we're not dealing with religion anymore, then we must ask this question. Then what the hell is Satan? And why the object or the adversary of religion, since we're not dealing with religion anymore, then what is the origin of this? You see what I'm saying? And one of the first clues was when I heard Dr. Charles Finch say, before I even studied it in General Massey and did my own research, it just a light came on in my head. he said that the Hyksos are a group of Egyptians were Set worshippers.
Yep. Yep.
But I said, wait a minute, hold on. Number one, because the Afrocentric movement was saying that Set was the devil.
Right.
See, here's the first mistake. They're taking modern mindset, terminologies, you see what I'm saying, and methods of research and thought, and trying to understand ancient thought and mindset. And you cannot understand the ancient model with the modern model. You can understand more of the modern model by researching your ancient past, but you can definitely not understand the ancient model from the modern model. So the Afrocentric movement approached this thing the wrong way. They saw Horus and Set, or Osiris and Set, and automatically assumed that Set Typhon was the devil and all that goes with him. You see. So the first thing happened was, because I had been taught a few years that Set Typhon was the devil of Set, and we learned to look at him as the devil, and then we heard, the first thing I heard was the Hyksos were Set worshippers, or there were groups of Egyptians that Set worshippers. And then the light comes on in the head. Well, why would anybody worship Set? That's the first aspect. Then, if the Egyptians or the Kamites were supposed to be more advanced than the people we would ever see again on the earth, then why are they stupid enough to worship Set?
Why would they do it? Right.
Or was Set something totally different than what the modern man is thinking it was? You see what I'm saying?
Right.
What the modern man was thinking it was.
Okay.
And the works of Gerald Massey would be the greater explanation of it. Ancient Egypt, Light of the World, the last books, 1907. Natural Genesis, the middle books, 1888. And the first volume, because all of them are 2 volume sets, volume 1 and volume 2. And the first 2 volumes, Book of the Beginnings, 1881. Which is the very same scholarship that Charles Finch was getting his information from. You see.
Right.
Which explained not a world of good and evil, but a world of politics. One priesthood usurping the other priesthood. In this case, the latter priesthood usurping the earlier priesthood and degrading or systematically leveling their chief god or chief system of philosophy. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
Then you find out this is political. Then all of a sudden, and this is the origin of what is evil. We don't have anything older than Set as the primordial devil. Then you will understand that this is a 5,000 year or no later than 3,000 year odyssey that was in fact started long before white folks even got on the planet, or either was even able to even talk. You see what I'm saying? That later on would get out of hand and would be the overriding tool or scope of religion. Good versus evil. Then we gotta ask the question, then what is this evil?
Right.
If it's not the wicked in the moral aspect, what is the scientific aspect of this evil? It simply is the primordial activity and functions of that which existed before creation. Doesn't make it bad. You see what I'm saying? It is that which is prior to creation. You see?
That you meaning that life.
That life, that system.
Well, isn't it kind of ironic that life is part of evil? If you turn it around.
That's right. You can go as far as to say that not only is it that before creation, that it was set up a pattern that evil would be that is prior to anything modern. That would be a pattern that would repeat itself throughout history. We can just take Egyptian civilization,
Right.
and just in the dynastic period, we're talking about millions of years after creation. In the dynastic period, they make something evil out of that preceded it,
Now why?
which was the earlier priesthood.
Now why did they do that?
It is an age-old question that haunts man. And the ultimate one is simply ignorance. The misunderstanding of something that might be a little more remote that you can contemplate. And they say over and over again, that which the later generation